Good morning, you guys. Happy Tuesday. I hope everyone's having a great morning. I have taken 3 trades this morning. The first two lost, and then I got a win in there. Right now I'm looking through my data because I want that the first loss was kind of like the one loss that I had yesterday where I wanted the sell, like I wanted the entry to be lower than what it was, and I didn't really feel that great about it, but and it lost, but it still followed my rules. That was my first loss this morning. And so I did go back through all of my data, and literally that trade has won every single time. The same exact setup, it has won every single time in the last 3 weeks except yesterday and today. So, and it even worked every single time in my back test. So there's really nothing I can do to mitigate those 2 losses. I just have to eat those. However, the second loss followed my rules just fine, but I kind of have a feeling that just that particular setup cannot work at that particular level. So I'm trying to go through my back test right now because at this point I know the other 2 regular pullbacks can work there. But I don't know about this third type of setup. So that is what I'm looking for in particular. But besides those 3 trades, I haven't had anything else. So that's that. I just have a feeling that it's just that particular setup. Alright, there's nothing in there. So that's that one. Alright, no sale there either. The VWAP is above my minor level for the sale, and I don't take trades like that. So right now we're kind of playing around the VWAP, the prior high as well. The prior high is the dark red line that's hidden behind this resistance level right here. so I think it's just this particular, which would make sense because it can't touch the other level that changes the trend. Why did I edit? Oh, I didn't edit it out. It didn't rotate though. Which that rotation is fine. Huh. Alright, there we go, some movement. Just needed to reject up there for a while. It's a beautiful little triple top kinda. Alright, let's save that because I need to write that down later. I feel like this week is gonna be mainly like super minor minor adjustments. Super minor. don't normally keep my zone on a chart this long, but I'm gonna start. Because since we've not had as much volatility and volume, we've been kind of trading in or near the zone a lot this week. So I'd rather keep it there for safety measures. I really would like for us to get out of the overnight range, which we've basically been trading inside of since about 8:33 this morning. It's a 35-point range. I can't even for real put nothing to the test this week. The volatility and the volume is so low. Just nothing in order. If it stops me out and goes to my take profit, that'll make me mad. That will piss me off. And there it goes. I'm looking through because there's only, so out of my 3 pullbacks, one of them I can't take when it's touching the zone. And I kind of wonder if this one's gonna end up being the same way. So I'm just looking through my data right quick. This is kind of why I have stuff color coordinated, because it's easier for me to look up stuff. This week has just been annoying so far, and part of me doesn't even want to trade the rest of the week. But I need the repetition. So I'm doing it. If I run out of accounts before Thursday, which hopefully I don't, I'll just sim. Sometimes it's hard for me to convince myself to wake up to sim trade though. But we'll see. I still have like $500 and $800 in these accounts though. Like I said earlier, yesterday I think it was, my goal is not to pass either of these. I'm not gonna YOLO them or anything. I just want them to last through the rest of the week. That's all I care about. Alright, that's not what I'm looking for. Which, it would make sense if I can't, the last trade that lost, it would absolutely make sense if I can't trade that at the top of that zone, because it's already like a, I don't know how to describe it, it's like a weaker pullback. To me, the strongest pullbacks are the ones like this one, where it's the higher low, higher high, higher low. So that's kind of why with that particular setup, I'm not really limited on like certain levels, like not being able to trade at certain levels. But the other two trades I kind of am. Yeah, I don't even really have examples of it really, so that lets me know I could just put that on in there, even though that's like my first example in the last 3 weeks plus the bit of backtesting that I did. I'm okay with making that a rule because it just makes sense. Good morning, Rio. It just makes sense based off of the other pullback that I can't trade at that level either. So basically, the top of this zone is what changes the downtrend to an uptrend, right? And it changed way back here, but I decided to keep the zone on there because I found that doing so is useful, because sometimes, like if it's especially a choppy market, you know, we'll break the level and we'll trade above it, but we have a high chance of not really completely breaking the structure and coming back towards it. So you can see that this is not a normal pullback. This is not a like this where, well, not that one, but it's not a higher low, higher high, higher low situation, right? So this is a lower low to a lower high to a higher low. This typically is one of two setups that kind of alerts you that a trend can be, like the minor trend is changing. The other one that's like this is a lower low to a higher low to a lower low to a higher high to a higher low. So those two are kind of sort of the same. So when this sets up to where, let's say this was a higher high right here, so we got red, green, green, I can't take those trades when they touch the second level that changes the overall trend bias. It's literally written here on my cheat sheet and everything. I found that taking those trades, it yields losses all the time, right? I also cannot take that particular combination when the overall trend bias changes. So when it changed, which I'm pretty sure it changed right here, this particular one looks like it worked out a little bit. I wouldn't have taken that anyway because the prior low was right there. But let's see, hold on one second. That's not gonna get me what I want. But anyway, so yeah, because the other setup that is just like this one that signifies a new trend, because I can't take that at that second level that changes the overall trend bias, I'm just gonna say that this one I can't either. And it makes sense why it can't, because the strongest pullbacks are the ones where it's green, 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 or red, red, red. So yeah, I could chalk that up as just another minor rule I need to have, which is fine. So I'm gonna add that to my cheat sheet, and I'll just reprint this later. I don't know the likelihood of that happening is pretty low, probably. So all right. Yeah, I could deal with that. And that's minor. Like, even some of the changes or adjustments that I had to make, or additions to my strategy that I had to make even yesterday, very minor stuff, like very minor. The biggest thing is that this week I don't want to have to make major adjustments. That's all I really care about right now. That's all I care about. Hey Roland, how are you? Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Just trying to survive through this week. Get whatever little last minute kinks out of this strategy, because I feel like it's almost finalized at this point. I'm not gonna lie. Sat through that. There was no zigzag attached to the first bar, and then there was a zigzag change, but I sat through it and we got a nice win out of it. But yeah, that stuff is super minor. I think yesterday I really only needed to make one adjustment, and I guess because the volatility is so low, it's like price is hanging around levels that I didn't really see in my back testing, because even though I did back test the first week of this month, which was a pretty slow week as well, for the most part, price has not been hanging around different levels. Like, it'll react to it that one time and then it'll just push off to the next level. So I think that's why certain rules are like missing, because I just don't have data for it. But it's cool, because a lot of times when I like have been back testing during this process, the major back test that I do is typically from the first week of October's data. And the reason why I do that is because the first week of October the volatility was so high that I get a really large sample size from just that 1 week of data. So it's a lot easier for me to kind of create rules from that, because there's so much data from it. But again, I didn't finish that back test though. I only did like 30% of it, which doesn't help. But yeah. All right, so I still don't really know my comfort level of trading at this major resistance. Now, I didn't take any of the trades yesterday. However, when I went back, and I sat out of them specifically because they were touching the major support level yesterday. But when I did look back, none of them were valid setups anyway. So, and then going back through my back test data, I don't really think it poses a problem now with some of the rule changes that I've made. So we'll just kind of have to see long term. This particular setup, if it sets up in this bar, is going to be invalid because the zigzag is not attached to the correct bar, because the high of this current candle and the previous one are exactly the same. That's why the zigzag didn't attach to it. That causes losses big time. And you can even see like the zigzag's already changing. It changed back, but I definitely noticed that that causes a lot of losses. You're doing good. That's good. I actually got a lot of sleep last night. I realized I went to bed like before, well, yeah, I went to bed probably like 11 o'clock. I was knocked out, okay? Knocked out. Alright, I do remember that rule properly. I've also noticed that I've been remembering my rules a little bit, which is good. Haven't had to look down at my cheat sheet as much. If we push up in this bar, I am going to take the buy. There is a lot of volume in this candle. Hopefully we can keep the steam. Alright, no harm, no foul here. No matter what, we don't lose the trade. Not enough steam to push. You only needed 2 more ticks. 2 more ticks. And there's the 2 more ticks. Hey. It's all good though. I don't know where the other... Oh, it's all the way up there. Alright, so I am going to remove... So basically, I'm going to start keeping the zones that I have that change the overall trend. I'm going to always keep them on the charts until the new trend happens, basically. Like the overall bias changes again. Then I'll remove the previous one. I think that's how we're going to do that. I am looking to buy in this candle if it pushes here. came one tick from filling me twice. All right, there we go. Don't push back down now. One more tick. It just rejected a little bit off the level that changes the trend to an uptrend. It was in a downtrend at first, a minor trend. So let's see if we got enough steam to push past it for the last tick of take profit. Because don't do me like over here. Please. I beg of you. Do right by me like I do right by you. No. What the f... You're a jerk. The market is testing me. Why? I'm nothing but good to you. Now, if this bar doesn't close down and we go back up to finish this trade, I'm going to heavily think about taking my auto break even off. You gotta be shitting me. I would rather you close down. Don't close up. Don't upset me, please. Don't, please. Y'all. Are they for real? They're for real. They're for real. Well. Alright, so my new task for later today is to go through all of my break-even trades via whether it's my backtest data or all the data from me actually trading this the last 2 weeks plus yesterday. Go through all of the times where the auto break-even was hit. Now, if it was a manual break-even because like I hit like, let's say we were in a buy and I came to this sell rotation level, like those are fine. If I broke even at the middle VWAP, those are fine. I'm not worried about those. But every time the auto break even was hit, I'm going to write down if it was a full win, you know, if it would have been a full win or if it would have been a loss. Because if the majority of those were full wins, then we're going to take that auto break even off from here on out. Because to be burned like that 2 times in a row is silly. Like I could take here and there, you know, whatever. But twice in a row is, yeah, that's a little hard to deal with. Especially if it's unnecessary. So I'm gonna write a note to myself. Recheck all auto break-evens for true results. Because the other thing is, I came up with the break-even level really back when I was trading. When I was on a 20 tick chart, I always had an auto break even 2 ticks before the take profit. Even when I experimented with a 12 tick chart that 1 week, same thing. And so I kind of kept the same theme with this time when I back tested. Most of the time, and I don't know if I did it in this back test that I didn't complete, but most of the time when I'm in my Excel spreadsheet and I write down that it broke even, I will write down if it was a full win otherwise. Welcome, Mahesh. Thank you for the sub. So yeah, I just need to go back through for that in particular, because now that my rules are much different and they're refined drastically, it could be that I don't have to auto break even anymore. So if it's gonna be an all or nothing thing, besides the times where I need to manually break even, I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. So we'll see. We will see. All right, so crazy thing here, if this pushes up here and doesn't stall for long, this would actually be a valid trade for me. However, because we're trading at this major resistance level, oh wait, it just invalidated itself. Great. You guys know I like when my trades invalidate themselves and I don't have to make the decision. But yeah, I noticed too, one of the parameters that I have when price is trading near the other, or it rotates over the other support or resistance levels, I don't have to be as strict anymore. I guess my refined rules just made that a lot different. But yeah. Which type of chart is this? This is called Rinkos. These are the Rinko bars that are free if you go to Ninja, NINZA.co. It is their Rinkos. They have a couple of free indicators. I use that, and then this bar status is free as well, where it tells you where the bar will close, if it's up or down, the price that it'll close at. But yeah, I trade Rinko charts. I do not look at any other charts. I don't look at any other instruments. I only look at the Nasdaq, and I only look at these Rinko charts. Don't look at a daily, a 5-minute, a 10-minute. I don't look at any of that. Rinko charts are the most price-based bars that you can have. They are not based on time in any way, shape, or form. They are not based on the number of ticks, the amount of volume, nothing. They are literally price-based, and probably the only price-based bar type when I think about it. Let me see. Range, volume, tick. Volumetric, point. Yeah, I think Rinkos are probably the only price-based chart type. Except I don't really know what are range bars. What are range bars in trading? It's a 9-time based chart constructed of bars that indicate price movement as a way to help expose trends. Each time a trade occurs outside of the previous bar's stated price range. I guess maybe range bars could be price-based as well. Yeah, so probably range bars and Rinko bars are your only price-based bar types. So to me, they are the most accurate. All right, don't push too hard. All right, you did. Never mind. All right, so no sell here. We pushed off of this rotation level from back here. If you guys want me to zoom in, I will. But I have it zoomed out today because sometimes I'm so zoomed in that you can't see the overall structure that I'm looking at. Even though, I mean, if you see a lower high, then obviously I'm taking a sell unless we are taking a divergence trade. But if you guys rather me zoom in, just let me know, because I know some of the levels are probably a little bit harder to see, but up to ya. Up to ya. All right, so if this bar pulls down and then we immediately go up, I am going to sit out of the trade because I'm curious as to how it's going to play out, considering I lost a trade like this yesterday. Was it yesterday? Pretty sure it was yesterday. Now, actually, I'm wondering if I lost a trade like that. No, it was last Monday. Well, yeah, it was yesterday and last Monday. I lost a trade like that. Now, the previous 2 times it set up like that in the last 2 weeks plus my backtest data, they won. But it makes sense as to why it would lose. So this yellow line is where my uptrend changed to a downtrend. And all right, well, that invalidated itself because the zigzag turned red anyway. But what I noticed was that, like, if this particular setup is like I'm attempting to get into the trade when it's starting a new trend, like it's about to push up to an uptrend, and so it happening while it's rotating over the level that just changed it to a downtrend means that change to the downtrend was not that strong, which probably is signified by us failing to break that level right there, the sell rotation level. Now, like I said, this particular buy, that I can't count that in what I'm looking at just because the zigzag wasn't even the correct color, so I wouldn't have taken it no matter what. But that's kind of like my thought process. Most of like my rules, even though it's like a volume based type of rule, like it makes sense why certain things just don't work out that well and why other trades do work out better. All right, so let's see what we do here. Basically, price needs to trade below this level for it to really attempt to push down. We still are inside. Actually, no, I think we pushed out of it. Did we push out of it? No, we pushed out of it. Never mind. That's the current open right there. Current open and prior close are down here with another VWAP level. But this is why I really like this indicator. I literally just found it on a whim in a random Discord that I had joined. Well, it wasn't random. It's a Discord that's ran by one of the Apex mods in their Discord. But legit, when I was going through some of like my old trades, when I put this indicator on, I realized that it was these levels that I couldn't see that price was reacting off of. Like, this indicator has been a game changer for me, I'm not gonna lie. Not going to lie. All right, let's see what happens here. But you can kind of see what I mean, where like this is where we change from the minor uptrend to the downtrend here. We really failed to break this level. We're starting to push back into the minor zone, attempting to change it back to an uptrend. Now the overall bias is still a downtrend, right? But we're now back into this zone. This is what I was saying like a couple of weeks ago, where I kind of look at the charts in sections. Like if we're trading below this level right here, I look at the trades different. If we're trading between here and when the trend is going to change back to an uptrend, I look at that different. And then above that, I look at the market different. So I look at the market in like thirds, basically. Yeah, basically thirds. I low key, well, that one would be different though, right? I low-key want like all the volume. I want this to push up in this bar, and I want the volume to be what I would normally take the trade with, but again, I'm not going to take it because it's rotating over this yellow line. But like, I want to see it set up again, just to see if my little hunch is right. And then of course we don't set up. Of course you don't want to show me what I'm looking for. We reject it off of it instead with an outside bar. All right, so now what's important is we trade below this rotation level. Otherwise we could see some consolidation. It's not even 10 o'clock. Today it's gone by pretty freaking slow. Yesterday went by pretty fast. You got the indicator? I got it in a Discord channel. But if you email me, I can send it to you. Let's see. All right, that sale is invalid. Yeah, if you email me, I will send it to you. Or if you add me on Discord. Do you have a Discord rolling? And look at this. This trade is invalid for me because with this particular setup, I don't like double bottoms or double tops in the middle of the trade and point B of the ABC triangle. And you see I would have lost. That's like one of the only setups that I do not allow a double bottom and a double bottom or double top in the middle. All right, so if you have Discord, send me a message on Discord. My username is the same as my YouTube, KeAmber Trades. And send me a message. I do allow messages from people I'm not friends with on there, so just send me a message and I'll send you the link. Now, if you do not use Rinkos, I don't know how it looks on Rinkos. I feel like this indicator, when I tried to open it on like time-based charts, it looked wacky. And it was not, but I think it's because this guy's indicators are specifically made for Rinkos. He says that like the Ninja and other companies that have Rinkos stole it from him. I don't know how true that is, but yeah, he specifically codes his indicators for Rinkos and I believe range bars as well. So if you try to use it on a time-based chart, it's gonna look crazy. Just so you're aware. He also has a second indicator that I actually kind of like. However, the only reason why I don't use it is because it's very similar to the NinjaTrader's solar wind, which is what I use to determine my minor and major structure or bias or whatever. So because of that, I don't use his indicator, his version of it, because I pay for those and I've had them for a long time. And I actually like those a little bit better personally. But those two in conjunction, though, that indicator in conjunction with this one work really well if you don't have Ninja's solar wind. But yeah, if you send me a message, I'll get it over to you. I surely will. All right, let me open up YouTube because I want to see how those two are doing. Did he put out he did not. I was wondering if he put out a summary yesterday. He normally does daily summaries. And he hasn't been. Wait, why do we only see you and not your charts? Oh yeah, just so you guys are aware, the 80% sale does end tomorrow. And the 1 day pass as well. I low-key, high-key, low-key was thinking about getting another eval. But I'm not going to just yet. We'll just wait. I'm just gonna wait because it's not like a pressing concern. I think I'm gonna wait until there's a time where I don't have a fresh eval on a Monday, because that one eval is missing since it's a PA now. And that renewal, it was like between my second renewal and the fourth renewal is the third one. So kind of sucks not having it in between, but we'll see. We'll see how I feel. All right. So no matter how high this goes, I cannot take this divergence because this double bottom right here is really a lower low. And I don't take higher high divergence if a lower low is in between. So I like to see green, 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 red, 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 or green. Like if this was a lower high, then I could take it. So that's a different type of divergence. I got two different types. Two different types. Excuse me. All right, we got to push off my major level. My major level's right, above the resistance level up there. Welcome, welcome. Oh, I do not want to butcher your name. Sarab. Welcome. Thank you for the sub. Welcome to the stream. We welcome you. I can say that although yesterday yielded a couple of minor adjustments that need to be made, and then today same thing, I'm not mad about either day. Only thing I'm mad about is the lack of volume. That's all I'm mad at. I really hope the volatility returns next week. I really do. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I will have a fresh 25K account back on Monday. Then for sure, one of the 50Ks will be gone because it renews on Monday. So no matter what, we're going to purposely fill that bad boy on Thursday. Yeah. So next week I might just have, well, I will have only 2 accounts to trade again. Because the middle account that's showing on the screen right now, that's the one, I blew that one. That was the 25K that I started with like $27 left in drawdown this morning. So I knew that was going to blow. But it doesn't renew until the 9th, so 1, 2, 3. So that'll come back the week of the 15th. All right. Yeah, we might at some point have to get another eval in there. All right. Why hasn't that gone away? That lets me know how much we're consolidating. Good morning, Granny. This is the zone that I drew when my bias changed from an uptrend to a downtrend. And now it looks like if we push up, we're going to be attempting to change back to an uptrend around the same exact area. So I have to be really careful around there. Good morning, Chuck. How are you? How's your morning? I wonder what the temperature is, because it's freaking freezing in this house. I like being cold when I'm asleep, but not when I'm awake. Not when I'm awake. Oh, it's 41. How long are we going to have this little cold front? It's spring. It looks like up until like next Thursday, the low is 39. What the heck? Spring has lost its marbles. I feel like though I can... Let me see. When I lost that one trade earlier, where was that one trade that was at the top of that zone? Oh, it must have been when my bias changed there. Alright, yeah. No, not there. Alright, so I think I can remove that zone actually. Let's remove it. Let's remove it, but that is where we're going to change back to an uptrend when we break that level there. Oh, this is gonna make me mad if it stalls here and pushes up. Because it looks like it's... Okay, good. I didn't want it to validate that because I didn't really want to take it. What was the last trade I took? Was it that sale? No, it was these two break-even buys. That stupid auto break-even. I'm very curious to see if I'm going to end up keeping that auto break-even or not. But I'll go through that data a little bit later probably. Or I might do it right after I get done journaling. We'll see. It's cold here too. Only get into 67. Listen, I'll take 67 right now. You don't see treacherous Tesla here? No, I think he's actually traveling back home today. I feel like yesterday he said he was... No. I think he said he was leaving yesterday. Maybe he's recovering. Or he could be back at work. Although I commend anybody that can go back to work the day after they come back from a vacation. I need that next day off. So, oh yeah, I wanted to tell you guys. Yesterday, 2:52. So yesterday in the mod chat, we were talking about like replacing job income and stuff like that. One of the mods has gotten like $47,000 in payouts this month. And so he needs a new computer. And I told him, I was like, well, the $47,000 can pay for it. He's like, no, I'm a saver. And so, you know, I was just talking to them about how, like, I'm a huge advocate for saving. I mean, you do need to invest as well. But I was telling them, like, I'm going on almost 2 years without a job. It was kind of forced initially. But then I kind of made the decision to kind of keep it going, even though I wasn't like focused on trading and stuff like that at the time. I kind of just looked at the force as kind of a blessing in disguise. Because I just feel like I graduated high school at 16 and I've just been going. And even like when I was in school, I was playing sports. I was all about academics. You know, it was just so much going on. And I feel like sometimes that's why I understand why kids need like that gap year, because you just want to just relax. And I've been doing a lot. Like my early to mid 20s was too much. Like, and I even tell people part of my memory issues has to do with like the long-term effects of like depression and anxiety and stuff. But other parts of it is because I was just going so much that I didn't like have time to like sit and bask in the glory. I didn't have time to smell the roses. I was just moving a lot. So for me, I kind of decided, you know what? Let's just take this time to relax for like 18 to 24 months. You know, at some point we'll pick trading back up and try to make the best of it and, you know, reach the goals or whatever. And so I was telling them how, you know, I've been living off of savings for 18 months now and I'm not even close to running out of savings. And, you know, I was telling them that my last job that I was working at, so I have not worked full time as a nurse in a very long time. Like I did it my very first year of nursing. I did it the 6 months that I did travel nursing. And then for a very short period of time when I was in my debt freedom journey, I worked full time just so I can have a little bit extra money to pay my debts off. Once I became debt free almost 6 months ago, baby, who's working full time? Not me, not she. Because I don't have full time bills and I'm not going to run myself into a ground because I'm working for literally no reason. I'm not a big spender. I don't need it. So yesterday I wanted to calculate, like, even though I never worked full time for real, I wanted to calculate how much money I would make if I worked full time at my last job with the amount that I was making per hour. So I did that and I wanted to see, like, around on average, how much would I need to make every day trading. Again, on average, I know some days it'll be more. Sometimes I just want to see what the average would be, because I want to see like how reasonable it is, right? So at my last job, I was making $43 an hour. Okay. And that equates to about $80,000 a year, because I only went off of like 36 hours, even though I typically will work about, it would be more than that every week. But, you know, because you have to account for you not really doing 12-hour shifts. It's more like 13. But I just took the base of 36 hours a week, and that equates to $80,000 a year, right? Well, there's 252 trading days about on average every year. So when I divide $80,000 by 252 trading days, that's an average of $317 every trading day. That is so reasonable, it's ridiculous. Even with one account, on average, $317 is not horrible. But then when you start to equate that to 20 accounts, even 10 accounts, like once you start dividing that up, that is insane. And that's one of the reasons why it's very difficult for me in this moment, especially with me being closer and closer to finalizing my strategy and things just seemingly going to be able to work out for me. It's very hard for me to take any job right now. I've had job offers outside of healthcare in the last couple of months, and I'm like, I don't know if I could do that, because I know myself. Like, I'll be cool with it right now, but as soon as I get that first $10,000, $20,000 payout, deuces. I just know myself. So why even waste anybody's time, including my own? It's no point. It's legit no point. All right, let's see if we can get a pullback here before we hit this zone. Because if we do, I'll get into a buy. But yeah, $317. That's it. That's it. That's so doable. It's insane. And then when you think about the fact that if you have a great strategy, you got 20 accounts, and let's say that you just take one payout from $20,000, $50,000 accounts, one payout per month, right? You can get to 80K in 2 months instead of a whole year. And then on top of that, this is what makes matters even crazier, right? You're talking about 36 hours a week versus 12 and a half. I only trade 12 and a half hours a week. That's it. And I ain't trading no more than that. So when you think about that makes the numbers even crazier as far as leverage and everything goes. And I was talking to my best friend, the one that trades. We were talking about like, what streams of income we want to look into. And he was saying how he feels like, different businesses that he's had, it's like unfinished business there, right? And I kind of had to preach to him a little bit. And I was just like, look, we're not in our early 20s anymore, which is when we met. Like, we're in our almost mid 30s at this point. So unfinished business from our 20s doesn't matter. We have to look at the next 2/3 of our life. Hopefully we live that long. But that's what we have to look at, right? And for me, I don't want to do anything that's not, I feel like trading is like the only active income that I want, right? I don't want to be obligated to customers. I don't want to be obligated to anyone but myself, Now, you do have certain like active parts of like real estate investing and things like that. But like I was even telling him, because we're thinking about doing like a parking lot, just like different business ideas like that, car washes, things that kind of sell themselves, where you don't have to sit here and do a whole bunch of advertising and worry about hiring too many people, because then you have to hire somebody to manage them because you don't want to manage them. I don't want to do anything where it's going to be too much for me, right? And I just think that trading is like the best active income when you have the strategy, you've developed your edge, you've worked on the psychology. I just feel like trading is the way. I don't want to do nothing else where I have to rely on people at all. Because the only person I can rely on is my damn self. Don't forget the 46 cents. Chuck. But yeah, we were talking about that, and I understand where he's coming from, because like I just get it. But for me, most of my unfinished business is because I wanted it to be unfinished. I didn't want to finish it. And it's very crazy because I'm one of those people where like I don't like to quit. I don't like feeling like I'm giving up on something or I'm not finishing what I started. But at this age that I'm at now, baby, I will not finish something that I started if I truly feel like this is not what I want to do. It's just not. And I'm not going to drive myself up a wall trying. It makes no sense to me. All right. I really want to see price break this zone here. We'll see what happens. Of course, I can't take this divergent sell because we would be, this is the prior open, which is considered a support level for me, even though it could be resistance. I'm okay with taking it if it doesn't rotate, but both the previous bar and that bar would both close on it, and that's what I call a rotation, so that would invalidate that sell no matter what. But we'll see if we can instead push through all of this. We have this level is where it changed from an uptrend to a downtrend, okay? And then we have the middle VWAP level, we have the overnight low, and then we have the second level that changes the bias to an uptrend. Now, if we could break through here, there's not much up there. I mean, we've been up there earlier today, but we got a little bit of room to move. So let's just see what happens. Let's just see. I have got to check those auto break evens. That is going to drive me crazy. Like, I'm cool when the auto break even hits and then the bar, you know, the actual bar ends up closing to where I was not going to get a full take profit anyway. Those are fine. I'm cool with my manual break evens at this point because the manual break evens almost always like prove to that, you know, that was just going to happen. Fine. It was going to break even or was going to lose. But that auto break even, I just have a hunch right now. I have a hunch right now. So we gonna see if my hunch is right. We gonna see. If we stall here long enough inside of this same bar, I am going to take the buy. But I needed to stall a little bit longer. And it didn't want to stall a little bit longer. We're rejecting here, so. This is a weak pullback level. I'm not taking it. It's going back towards the VWAP as well. So we wait again. We wait again. I feel like, what is it? That was fine. That loss. So I think 2 losses can be mitigated today from new rules that we created based on the 2 losses today. Because there was either no other data like that, or the other data was break evens, or I wouldn't have gotten filled, that kind of thing. So it based on other rules and parameters for that setup, it makes sense why we could just mitigate that. Like I told you guys, I'm not trying to mitigate every single loss. It's impossible to have a 100% win rate. So that part is not the goal. But we are going to spend time mitigating the ones that make sense. Which those 2 losses make sense. So if we remove those, then I would be up about $60 per account. And that's with those auto break evens in there, which I just have a feeling that I'm going to end up removing it. But we got to look at the data first. Got to. I think that's the only thing I need to back test after I get off the charts today. So it should be a pretty short session. since it's something so specific I'm looking for. And I'm literally just going to pull up my backtest workspace, because when I'm backtesting, right, I do draw the risk to reward on every single trade that I consider as valid at the time. So I'll be able to quickly scroll to that date and that time for the trades that I have written down and be able to look and immediately see if it was going to be a full take profit or if it was going to be a loss. I'll just write them all down and figure out if we're going to keep the auto break even from there. Because it doesn't look like I recorded this go round if the trades would have won or lost based on the break evens. Normally I do. So that's my fault. I made it harder on myself. We're rejecting off the zone. However, we're still above my major level. So we do still have a pretty high chance of attempting to go back and test the zone again and push beyond it. But if we fall below like here and create some structure here, like basically around this major resistance level, probably be pushing back down. So we'll see. Don't try to predict, we just trade what the market gives us. Retested the zone right here. That's an extra 115.92. Are you using the accidental funded account today? No, I'm not gonna use that. My accidental PA, I'm not gonna use that one until I pass and eval the right way. So we're not touching it. The only thing I did do is last Friday, I think it was, I did flip a contract, or last Thursday I did flip a contract on it, and that was just because, or maybe it was Wednesday, I don't remember, but whatever day it was like, okay, because if I go into next week feeling pretty confident, you know, based on what the rest of last week would end up being, then I would go ahead and I would try to take like one trade a day on it, and I would only take that like one specific setup for me. I feel like that yields the best results. So that was my thought process. I just did that because if I wanted to get into the first through the fifth payout, I had to at least flip a contract one day last week, with Good Friday being this Friday. But I don't really feel comfortable trading it yet, so we'll just wait. No big deal. At this point, my goal is just to reach the second payout window next month. So I kind of have like it mapped out of when I need to start the PA in order to do that. I mean, to be honest with you, I feel pretty good about the strategy. Like coming into this week, I said like besides pretty minor adjustments, I don't think I'm going to have to make any other adjustments. I think that the foundation of the strategy is just what it's going to be at this point. It's just a matter of like little minor nuances. Like one of the trades yesterday and two of the trades today. Stuff that doesn't happen often. They lost. I looked at backtest data. There's not much data there, which means it doesn't happen often, which means let's just mitigate it from here on out, because why risk it? And because other parts of the setup, it kind of just makes sense as to why. So yeah, I'll probably honestly start trading it the week of the 8th, more than likely. Because for me, I don't want to start it in the middle of the week. I'm a little anal and a little OCD a little bit. Starting in the middle of the week is weird. That's why I always start my like evals that renew after their fail. That's why I always start them on a Monday, no matter what. So yeah, we'll probably just start it the week of the 8th, which will be fine. Because if we get some decent volume and volatility next week, I might be able to pass that 25K that comes back that week. I might be able to pass it in that 1 week. Because every time I make adjustments and I go back and I, reanalyze the these weeks or whatever of data that I have, I don't think any week was less than $2,000 of profit. So, and that doesn't include like 2 new, I wouldn't call them new, but 2 setups that I've been sitting out of those particular trades because I wanted to kind of finalize the rules for those. It doesn't even include any trades from those, which have pretty high probability as well. So if things work out, I might be able to pass that 25K next week. We'll see though. We'll see. I'm not in a rush because I told y'all I am not trying to be that person that has 150 PAs. Like, no. If I lose a few here and there along the way, cool. But my goal is to not lose any of them, if I'm being honest. That's a pretty big goal. But because I've taken this long to pass the first one, and how I'm just being careful and not doing it until I got the next one, I know that by the time I get to that point, my strategy is set, right? Except maybe, again, minor adjustments. So at that point, I'll feel pretty comfortable and my strategy would have proven itself enough for me. Because with scalping, depending on how many setups you get per day, you don't need 3 months of data to look at. Like, especially if you're scalping certain patterns that are very consistent that you see every single day. Like the patterns that I'm trading are setting up every single day. Like I might have a setup where I haven't taken any trades for that particular setup that day. Like today, I've only had 1 divergence trade today, I think. But I have 2 divergence type of setups. So the second one I haven't traded at all today. That kind of stuff is fine because when I look at all the data, it sets up a lot, So the biggest thing is that you have a good sample size. And then I try to take like data from different parts of the year, different like types of volume and volatility weeks and stuff. So I'm very curious how the next 2 days is going to go though, because this has been a pretty low volume and low volatility week. So I'm very curious to see how we'll end up for the week. Because yesterday was about the same P&L, which is fine. We're under the 250 goal of that being the highest loss day. But yesterday didn't have to be a negative day. Once we mitigated the losses from yesterday with the new rules, it was a positive day. Wasn't a huge profit, but it was still profitable. So we'll see. We got 30 minutes left, and the way that this is stalling in this zone, baby, we might not be getting any trades for the next 30 minutes. But we'll see, I guess. I don't really want to take this sell. I'll probably piss myself off with this, but I don't really want to take the sell right here because I would have to break even right at this line, which is only 2 ticks away. And the way that this thing lags a little bit on my entries, I would just rather not risk it because it can literally hit it and just reverse immediately, and then I can't break even. So we ain't gonna do that. Plus, I don't really like taking divergence trades that rotate over a VWAP level, which is kind of an old rule of mine. So I don't know if it's still valid. All right, so far I would actually still be in this trade. And that low-key kind of makes me mad. Go break even or something. Alright, it pulled back to the break-even level. That makes me feel good. So I was gonna say, if we blow through the bottom of this zone with no pullback to the break-even level, that would piss me off. That I set out for no reason. But I do definitely want to look at these divergence trades that rotate over the VWAPs, because I think now that my rules are different, I might be able to trade it now. I just didn't used to be able to. So I'm very curious. And knowing me, I probably didn't even record any of them. Let's see. Oh, yes, I did. Not many, but I did. So I'm curious about that. Now I'm curious. All right, let's see what we get from here. So we failed to really change to an uptrend. We did not clear this level or zone, whatever. Let's see what we got going. And I'm gonna draw the other zone that I'll be looking at. So this down here would change the bias back to a downtrend. I'm quite sure that every time we've changed biases, we just didn't really hold them. Or at least didn't hold them for long, until when we did change to the downtrend bias, we did kind of hold that one. For a little minute. Oh, my back. Let's move this up right here. Sell, so that would be pushed up too far. No sell here. We didn't. You can see that if this bar closes, it won't break the level right there. So we wait for the next pullback for the buy, see what that looks like. Having trouble pushing through here. We're rejecting with another lower high. I'm gonna go get some more water. Alright guys, I'm back, sorry. You mean to tell me we are in the same spots? I do want to start, I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to try to remember. I want to start writing down what the daily volume is when I first get on the chart. So right at 8:30. And then what it is when it ends. I mean, it's easy for me to write down when it ends because I could just go back to the streams and look. But I want to look at that. I want to look at that. Stop loss 40 ticks, take profit 6 ticks. What is, oh, that's 200. Can't take the buy. Got a rejection off of the VWAP. This week has taught me patience. No, I had patience before, but my goodness. My freaking goodness. He's copy trading? Oh, those are evals. Okay. Wait, why did he get into a buy right there? Well, that's a nice screen. It looks like he bought I'm watching Nutty stream. It looks like he bought the same copier that I did from Affordable Indicators, which I need to reach out to the owner because he said he was going to get me an affiliate code, and I think it gives people 20% off if I'm not mistaken. I think. I can't remember. But I love this copier, I really do. Okay, well, he clearly didn't I like that copier because he has a feature in there where you can't move the stop loss to more than what the initial stop loss was. And then for your take profit, you can't move it less than what your initial take profit was. And it's basically like a risk mitigator. Nutty must not have that feature on right now because I just saw him move the stop loss. Although I don't know if that was where his initial stop loss was, but that trade copier is very nice. Like, I have no complaints. The only reason I didn't get it when it first came out was because number one, I already had the Apex copier and I don't have any issues with it considering I used the old version. But also when he first came out with this copier, all of the follower accounts would automatically use market orders, and I did not want that. So because of that, I definitely was not interested in buying it. But with the recent update, and I don't know if it was this update or a previous one, but when he had this recent update, that's when I looked into it and I saw that he has 2 different settings now. So now your followers can have market orders or your followers can have limit orders. And that's what I was most interested in, is it having limit orders. Well, I was looking for a sale. I am no longer. I hope for his sake they can push through this zone. He's in a buy right now at maybe like 565. It's just a lot of blah. Alright, he might be good. Wait, what did he just do? Did he get out? How many contracts did he have on it first? 2. So what did he just do? I don't know. Don't know. We're rejecting again. I can't get into any sales though, no matter what, because we got a sell below that yellow line. That's what changed it from an uptrend to a downtrend, the minor trend. So, shoot, we're rejecting again. My phone is dying. Oh yeah, I didn't charge it last night. What time did I take my last trade? 9:34. Jeez, a whole hour? To be a scalper and not have a setup in an hour is crazy. And I didn't miss any setups at all. At all. Now I wonder if Thursday I might not take any counter trend trades, because with me realizing that causes a lot of losses for me on Fridays and we don't have a Friday trading date, I wonder if I need to do it for Thursday. What I might end up doing is going back to last the last Thursday before Good Friday and just looking at that. That's what I like to do sometimes. Just go back to the same day before the holiday the previous year and just test it. These low volume and low volatility days just make watching streams so boring. Cause I can't say I don't force anything. It would be more entertaining if I forced stuff and went on tilt. All right, Rio. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. Not interested in this divergence buy. We got a higher high in the middle of it. What I really want is for this bar to push up. There's a lot of volume in this bar, so okay, or just do you. That's fine too. Just do you. That's what you want to do anyway. You got 13 minutes left. It's looking like we're going to end today the exact same way we ended yesterday. I think yesterday was 117 per account. Let's see what he has. Unrealized net liquidation from closed. Total P&L. Because I wouldn't mind having the same. Let's see. I don't think that's going to work. Mine isn't as wide as his is. It's not a bad idea though. I like the rhythmic P&L, but I don't mind the way he has his looking either. Oh, he got out there and he re-entered. Okay, now it makes sense. Because I'm like, that doesn't... How did he do that? Is that what happened when he clicked that button right there? No. Y'all, I know I'm not tripping. What did I miss? Okay, how did he... Oh, he added a contract in. Okay. So it moved the average down. Alright, makes sense. I was thoroughly confused. hope he knows that his stop and target only have 2 contracts though. Alright, where are we at? Okay, market, look. Give me something, jeez Louise. No sell here, I'm looking for the next buy. Yeah, you take one of those contracts off. Alright, we're back at the zone. This might be the time we push through it. Oh, he has some drawdown to deal with, but he's good now. He got a nice bounce right there. I just want to see it push past this freaking zone. We only got 9 minutes, so it's probably not going to happen while I'm on the charts. He should put a stop below that last low. Everywhere I go. Happened to several YouTubers. That is the troll that picks only red days to appear. Ooh, who is it? Who is the troll that's been trolling YouTubers? Oh, we're still pushing? Nice. But it needs to clear this zone though. Because even if it pulls back like here and then creates the pullback for the buy, I can't take it. Not with that setup. I just lost that same one earlier today. And we decided we're just gonna not do it. I was hoping we had enough steam to just break this and give me a trade. That's all I want. One last trade. But it doesn't look like the market wants to give that to me. Okay. Okay. But I need you to completely clear this zone. Like my entry bar for a buy cannot touch this zone in any way, shape, or form. And it's only because of this. We started with a lower low down here. Now, if that was a higher low down there, I would be able to take a trade at the top of the zone and just use the top of the zone as like extra support for the trade. But with this particular trade, I cannot. Looks like we're trying to break the, what is that? All right, we just did. That's a high from earlier today. From 1024. Four minutos. Oh, he got out of the trade. No, I don't want you to push down right here. No, 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 no. Of course you do this. Of course. And then technically this touched the VWAP, so I can't get into the next sell, and I know we're not gonna boom 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 in the next 2 minutes. So it looks like my day is done. Everything else is setting up perfectly. I just don't like it being at the top of this zone. Alright, we got no zigzag bar one. Let's see what happens. Keep at it. Oh, I am True Seeker. I am. I'm just curious to see what this trade is gonna do. Because also that rule is based off when the trend changes, like when it first changes. We're just coming back to the zone, so I don't know if it's like the same thing or not. I would kind of rather just not chance it for real. But let's see what happens. I would prefer for it to lose so that my hunch is right, you know? But you can see we're having trouble still. Especially with the VWAP support, you would have thought it would just pushed Prime high. 15 ticks. I will still be in the trade. Watch this be the time it wins. I could flick the market off right now. Alright, let me show you guys the accounts and get y'all out of here and get myself out of here. Alright, so I wanted to make sure that I had the other account showing. Accept. Alright, there we go. So not a bad day today at all, honestly. I have no complaints. Like I said, my only complaint is the lack of volatility. Hi Trenches, we were looking for you earlier. Chuck called you treacherous Tesla earlier. Alright, this is where we're at. Let me mute my music because I can't even concentrate on what I was going to say. Alright, so I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades today. 2 lost 3, broke even on 2. I think today there was 2 trades that will be mitigated in the future, just because it makes sense why those trades don't typically work out at those particular levels based on how other parts of the setup work. So yeah, not a bad day at all. We got $600 in drawdown left on the first 50K account. That one renews on Monday. So that one I will purposely fail no matter what on Thursday. And then the second 50K account, that one doesn't renew until Friday. So I just care about that one lasting until Thursday of next week. But we still got a little over $900 of drawdown left on that account. And then the second account, that one blew. It only had $27 in drawdown if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so that's where we're at. Just hoping that we get better volume and volatility tomorrow. That's really all I care about, but we probably won't. But we'll just see what tomorrow brings. But I thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your day. Please like the video on your way out if you haven't already. Subscribe also if you haven't already. But other than that, I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Enjoy the rest of your day.